Okay, we're going to cover weeks 5, 6, 7, and 8 in this video because I was slacking. Actually, I was running them a week or two behind by design. But I got the coronavirus, and in this time frame, my wife and I had a trip to Las Vegas that we booked and paid for and all that back in like October. So there was a lot of non-refundable stuff. I'm like, screw it, we're going one way or another. So anyway, we'll get to that. So anyway, vertigo, what's going on? I'm still dizzy in the mornings when I get up. It's 6:25 in the morning right now as I'm recording this, and it's fuzzy as I'm looking at this, and I'm a little dizzy. I'm sitting down, obviously, but it starts to clear after a few hours. By noon or so, it'll be a lot better. It's not going away completely, but it is getting a lot better. Still got the Carl Ferguson model hanging out here. Still using the patch behind my ear and the meclizine crap here to deal with the nausea. I did try weaning off of those because I had a doctor's ear, nose, and throat doctor appointment on the 16th. I tried weaning off of those to see what would happen, and the nausea does come back, which is weird because it doesn't seem like the dizziness gets any worse, but the nausea returns, and the dogs are playing grabby ass. Hold on, hey, go play grabby ass somewhere else. They're really sorry about that. Not really. Anyway, as I was saying, that the nausea comes back, but it doesn't really deal with the dizziness, which is kind of strange. But anyway, I went to the ear, nose, and throat doctor. I waited 6 weeks for this appointment. Lady had obviously read all my stuff before I got in there, and comes in there and tells me, really, there's nothing I can do for you. It's just one of those things. You got to wait it out until it goes away. If it doesn't go away, then we have to look at other options, including the surgery, which we're not going to do. Anyway, the lady kind of freaked me out. She reminded me of Nancy Pelosi for some reason. I mean, she wasn't drunk, but anyway, is what it is. So, oh yeah, and $30 copay, please. So then I ended up having to see my regular doctor. When I see him, first of March, and they're still playing grabby ass. 1st of March, because I'm on disability and I had to get him to renew the thing for that. Hold on, got to close the door now because we can't calm down out there. Hey, you're screwing things up here. Go away. Guarantee she's going to hit the door and try to get in here. That's the yellow dog. Anyway, I had to get him to do my disability thing because I can't drive still, and subsequently can't travel, which is my job, is pretty much travel, cars, airplanes, hotels, job sites, blah, blah, blah. That's a whole different story. But anyway, he came in, he looked at all the charts. It's the first time I'd seen him since this happened. So he came in, he looks at all the charts, and first thing he says is, hey, there's not a damn thing I can do for you. I go, well, same thing I heard from the ear, nose, and throat doctor. Thanks a lot. So that was a short and sweet appointment, and got done what we needed to get done, and that was it. I got to follow up with him in the, it's March, April, end of April, to see where we're at, see what we're going to do. He does want me to do a bunch of blood work, like the week before I go back to see him in April, because if this stuff isn't working, or things aren't improving, or I have a relapse, which is entirely possible, according to the ear, nose, and throat Nancy Pelosi doctor, and him, that it is possible, and my Google research, that this could come back. Hopefully not as bad, but it could reoccur in smaller instances. And I was having some dizziness prior to the big episode, so could come back again. So who knows? But he wants to do the blood work, make sure there's nothing in there that indicates anything different. And they did do, I don't know, half a dozen blood tests when I was in the hospital for 3 days, and everything was fine. So anyway, we'll do that anyway, just so he can check it out, and maybe we get a little bit more in detail with it. But that's where it is. Any more updates? I can't think of any. I'm going to delay these for a few weeks now because there's no sense in doing them every week. There's really no change. It's kind of the same thing like freaking Groundhog Day right now, but it's just not going away. It just won't get back to normal, if that's a term. Anyway, we're going to try to get out and do some metal detecting and stuff here real soon in smaller quantities. As much as I can do, it just wears me out. But coronavirus. So anyway, I got the coronavirus. I don't know how, because I really don't go anywhere. Well, I take that back. I went to Vegas for a few days, but it was well after that I got the coronavirus. So it hits me. I get the chills one night, and of course we have some high dollar electric blanket thing on the bed, and it doesn't work, and I'm freezing my ass off all night long. Get up in the morning, a little bit of a runny nose, don't think much of it, take a shower, do my thing, and just, bumping around, literally, without the car, into the walls, whatever, through the day. Didn't think a whole lot of it. Still had a runny nose that afternoon. My wife is, I think we need to test you for the coronavirus. Great. So she gets one of her freaking test kits, because let me back that up. My wife and my daughter are vaccinated because they work in jobs that absolutely required it. I wasn't happy about it, especially with my daughter, because she's only 20. So, Joe, if you're watching, Uncle Joe, if she has any kind of reproductive problems or any issues in the future with this vaccine, I'm coming for your ass. I'm going to sell everything I have and hire a freaking best high-speed lawyer I can get, and I'm coming for you and that Dr. Fauci fool. Anyway, enough of that political stuff. They had to get vaccinated because of their job. Myself and Buck, who's 13, almost 13, didn't get vaccinated. So anyway, I get the corona thing. I'm down for, my wife tests me. Sure enough, oh, you're positive. Big freak out. So I was literally down for the next day, 24 hours. That was it. And I mean, I wasn't down. I was really, really weak. And there's the dog. Okay, what's going on here? Can you see I'm in the middle of something? Come on. Yeah, I know. Yeah, here, look, she doesn't care. Let's see. Yeah, she doesn't care. And she brought back up. Japper. Anyway, sorry for the interruption. I don't know where I was with that now. Anyway, yeah, coronavirus. So it took me down for about 24 hours. Just laid around all that day. Later that evening or so, 5, 6 o'clock, I felt better. I gotta close this thing. Hey! Hey! Shit's ridiculous. Later that night, I felt better. Had some food. It was fine. After that, boom, back to normal. Still really, really weak, and I had a runny nose. That was it. But other than that, perfectly fine. If she hadn't given me that test, I would have probably just thought I had a cold. So then, subsequently, she ends up getting it, vaccinated, gets it bad for like 4 or 5 days. Daughter gets it, vaccinated, a couple of days, 2.5 days, maybe 3 days. Buck gets it. Only reason we knew he had it is because my wife was sticking the Q-tip up his nose, giving him the test. Didn't even slow him down. And yeah, so who knows? He and I, both not vaccinated, over it quick. My wife and my daughter, fully vaccinated, lasted them a lot longer, and it was a lot worse for both of them. So that's my coronavirus story, so take it for what it is. Anyway, that's that. This thing's getting long. We did spend a few days in Vegas. That went pretty well. Of course, you're on your own pace down there. I don't have to get up early and have any issues. And we did stay at the Luxor, where they have those sideways elevators. And you want to try that when your freaking head's screwed up in the morning with the Carl? Yeah, no. Luckily, the heater system in our room was all jacked up, so they moved us to one of the tower rooms with an elevator that went straight up and down. So that helped. Did see a few shows. One thing, real quick plug for this: if you're going to Vegas, or you're in Vegas, if you're in Vegas, you probably already know. There's this guy that's called Paranormal Mind Reading Magic or something like that. Frederico Silva, I believe is his name. He's at Bally's. He does a show at 4 o'clock in the afternoon at Bally's. My wife wanted us to go see this thing. I booked this back in like October or whenever we booked this whole trip. I'm like, this thing's gonna suck. It's a 4 o'clock show at freaking Bally's. It was insane. It was great. 10 out of 10. Would see again. I was pleasantly surprised. Super small room, probably 50 people in there. Great show. Would see it again. So anyway, we saw that. We saw Chris Angel too. That was a great show. Mind Freak. Go see that. That was insane. Anyway, that's it. We saw a couple of Cirque du Soleil shows, but that Cirque du Soleil. We saw O. Skip it. Had some weird freaking story. I had no idea what was going on. I was confused. I had to Google it when it was over to find out what the freaking story was about. But the high diving and the acrobatics, all stuff was cool. And we saw the Beatles Love, which was a really cool show. Would see that again. And and we saw Michael Jackson one. That's the second time we've seen that. That's a great show. Anyway, that's the Vegas plug. That's your travel tip for today. So I'm gonna get out of here. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel. Helps me out tremendously. And should be out with KJC and the crew here in the next video. So thanks again. Appreciate it.